Hello all my Kenvians and welcome to a new episode of Discovering Steven Universe. Today the episode I'm going to be watching is Are You My Dad? Which, as I explained at the end of the previous video, I'm just not sure what's going to happen at this. It's like the name doesn't really give me any indication. Maybe those aliens that seem to be abducting people are going to abduct his dad. I don't know. I have no idea. So really, I mean, as with the last few episodes, there's really nothing I can really get from this. So let's just get right into the episode and begin. Are You My Dad? In 3, 2, 1, go.
Take this can of magic beans into town and treat it for a donut. Beans? They're good for the heart. Experience the big donut.
He's been missing for a couple of days now.
He did get abducted.
They're starting to get worried.
Close.
Because they were both abducted too.
Well, what kind of mother would I be if I didn't make a copy of all my daughter's keys?
I only came to lunch.
Awaiting new challenges to validate me.
Buddy, punch me, please. Are you my dad?
Hello.
Jim!
Are you my dad? If I'm my dad.
No,
Are you my dad?
Are you my mummy?
No, I'm not your dad.
Oh my god! What the hell?
You could have done it yourself, Topaz.
no. You can't take them.
What? What? Okay, yeah, we're going straight into a two-parter here. That's, not okay. That's not okay. Okay, alright, so I'll talk a little bit while I'm transitioning here. That went into a horror movie, effects there at the end. Like, the Topaz absorbed them. Like, and their body parts are sticking out. The mere fact that, like, their heads are actually sticking out a little bit and they're able to breathe is the only reason they're not dead. So, the last, episode of this season is called I Am My Mom. So, if by Are You My Dad, are they referring to Greg? Because she said A. Connie. So, I don't know. I guess they're going to be looking for Greg next, but alright, we're getting right into it with I Am My Mom, and holy crap. Hello. Okay, I'm muting it momentarily while the theme song plays. Okay, so Aquamarine and Topaz being the gigantic one, I was thrown off there thinking it might be a human, like the dad of that gem. Okay, I Am My Mom.
This is an emergency.
Uh-oh. Hi.
Oh no. You found us.
She's
Oh, give it up.
Rah!
There's no
6 human variations specified in a report by Peridot 5XG.
Oh no, there's lots of humans. There's my dad, Connie, Lars and Sadie, the mailman, Onion, I think. Who this?
Oh god.
The list.
I'm just not sure. Did they specify alive?
Holy crap. She is freaking evil. No!
Care about your
Ow, whoa, hi. Oh,
Thanks! Get to the door!
that actually worked somehow.
Put it together and fix the door. Right.
Alexandrite!
Alexandrite!
Oh, crap.
Why? That is hope.
That's an effective power.
I can't go back to home. No! Don't you dare! I love you. No! Stop!
That's how they end the season! That's how they end the season! Oh my god! It's like, I know that, the episodes tend to come out in these bursts. It's like there will be long delays. Excuse me, well, the episodes, not the seasons. But there's these long delays between, like, groups of episodes, and a bunch of them will come out, usually, in a StevenBomb. But they end the 4th season like that? Oh my god! And that's the my head hurts a little bit. They end it like that, with them going to Homeworld. Steven offering himself as Rose Quartz to save everybody else. Nobody else wants that except for him. He even says that he doesn't think Rose Quartz would have wanted it to happen, but he does. And it just dawned on me that Lars is still in that ship. So Lars is going to be going with Steven to Homeworld. And they do not have a way unless Peridot builds something, which I don't think she has that technology on Earth. Unless she builds something, or Lapis flies to Homeworld to save him somehow. There's no way for them to get him, to save him. Oh my god. Okay, I wrote down some notes, so I'll go over some of my thoughts from these last few episodes. One thing I will say is that considering one of the episodes is Are You My Dad? And they're clearly referring to Greg, since it was Steven who gave them the list, technically, I'm surprised that Greg never actually showed up. Or there was we never see him. It didn't even have to be a speaking role, but we never actually see Greg. That blows my mind more than just a little. Okay. So backing up to Are You My Dad? Just some of my favorite things. After what just happened, I feel like any of the quotes I wrote down just don't quite match up to what these episodes were. Oh, God. But there were two quotes that I wrote down from this episode. The first of which was from Steven when he was waiting on the package to arrive. The package that never did. That was supposed to come by Jamie because he was kidnapped by Aquamarine and Topaz. But just simply the consarn it! just something about that. I just loved it. It was adorable and hilarious. My second favorite quote of it being, and I would say it's not... It's definitely the quote of that particular episode, the Are You My Dad? And the quote is simply that. The first time we hear from Aquamarine, Are you my dad? There's just something so creepy about it. And if you haven't seen Doctor Who, or some the first season that started back up in 2005, it was a two-parter that took place in World War II, but there is this character, not evil, but the scary character that says, Are you my mummy? Are you my mummy? And that's what came to mind when I heard this little British accent saying, Are you my dad? And just the sort of vacant look on the character's face while she was saying it. And really, that brings me to like my biggest element of definitely the first episode. And I mentioned this during the break in between the first and second episodes, but just they had this horror element to it, or the episode had this horror element to it, especially near the end. Like, it was just kind of creepy, kind of weird whenever Aquamarine showed up. But then Topaz, the fused Topaz, comes out with everybody's body parts sticking out, and it is terrifying. It's something out of a nightmare that you see. It's something out of like a dark video game, or even some of these like old occultic drawings that you see of like people's limbs sticking out of walls. There's faces of the dead and the walls and things like that are coming out of paintings. It was horrifying, legitimately horrifying. So yeah, and then on top of all that, just the introduction of Topaz and Aquamarine. And Aquamarine didn't come into her own in that particular episode. Like, she was creepy, but it wasn't until the next episode that she got really big. So yeah, Topaz, horrifying in that first episode. Aquamarine, creepy as hell. But then comes the second episode, I Am My Mom. And suddenly, Topaz is definitely the brute. Like, got over the body horror element of it come this episode. She's definitely the brute, or they are definitely the brute, since there's two of them. But yeah, just super strong, does not speak. I have no idea if the character will ever have a speaking role, since I assume that they'll at least be on one more episode coming up into the 5th season. Once I know where to watch it, but it's not on Hulu currently. But yeah, so I mean, Topaz was intimidating, not as scary. But then this is the episode where Aquamarine showed her true colors. And they animated her perfectly. She was voiced amazingly. This cute, high-pitched, very childlike voice talking about what they were going to do with the humans if Steven didn't tell them where my dad was. And just that moment where Topaz grabs Jamie's head. Again, I know it's a kid's show, but I don't know what they're going to do anymore. I legitimately there for a second thought they might actually go there. They might actually kill off one of these characters. And, I mean, I'm glad it was over with really quickly when Steven, said that he was my dad. But like that was another just like pure moment of horror. And then again, it's like the way the facial expressions from Aquamarine. It's like she is. I mean, she feels like if we were to talk alignments, like what there is in Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm probably getting this a little bit wrong, but she feels like chaotic evil. Like, she seems to be, just like, very prim and proper and playing by the rules. But then she just turns on a dime and is all of a sudden just super evil, super creepy. And it worked so well in this episode. It really, really did. Other than those two, I was honestly thinking that, and again, I feel like I mentioned this in a previous episode, when I kind of figured out that they were abducting these people, that maybe they were going to take them to the zoo. But apparently that's not the case. It's, they're taking them straight to Homeworld. Or, well, they would be taking them, but now it's just Steven and Lars. Oh, and then the realization of where the list came from. Like, I remember watching that. And, like, when he said an onion, I think, I remember laughing at that moment. Just because, like, yeah, is onion human? It's hard to tell sometimes. But that moment is forever changed for me now that I've seen this episode, knowing what it leads to. Oh my god. And then the fact that they were using the humans, like their body parts, as they were using them as human shields. Like when Garnet was going to go, clobber Topaz, just turn and there was Jamie's face. And if I do have any issues with the episode, I feel like Jamie might have talked a bit too much. He got a bit annoying, but that was kind of the point. But just them using them as human shields, and again, going back to the whole idea of, like, they found them expendable. They didn't specify whether the humans had to be brought back dead or alive. And then, fast forwarding to when they're on the ship and the fight that takes place, it was quite, I mean, not epic necessarily, but considering Steven was just befuddled, like he had just barely managed to get his bubble off before, well, he wasn't even able to do it until a little bit after they were actually on the ship. But like him and Connie going side by side and actually, fighting against these two topazes. And I mean, each one is clearly quite powerful on their own. And then they fused, and it's just like the power is clearly immense. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, maybe if Steven and Connie had fused, they might have stood a chance against even the fused Topaz. But now we don't know, because Connie's not with Steven. And it seems like Steven is not giving up, but he is going to try something. Maybe to try and negotiate with the Homeworld gems? I honestly don't know. And during that fight, the moment with Lars, it's... that was hard to see, because I know that we've gotten some character growth from Lars, and that has been great to see, but just seeing him run away like that, just in pure fear, like Sadie pushed him out of the way. She put her own body in danger when Topaz swung down her mace, I guess it is. And then Topaz picks up Sadie, and Lars just, it looks like he's going to try and do something, but then he just runs away and hides. And I mean, I guess that's sort of a display of, you never know what you're going to do until you're put into a dangerous situation, and they displayed that for Lars here in this cartoon very well, because, you know, some people will step up, some people will go in there and, you know, they'll get in the face of danger and go toe-to-toe with it. Some people, when it comes to fight or flight, they take flight, and Lars is definitely the flight. I'm curious what's going to happen with him, since he's stuck on the ship with Steven and Topaz and Aquamarine. Yeah, but also, aside from that, one thing that did confuse me a bit, admittedly, is Steven himself said that we're already in the air. I thought that maybe it's like they had already started taking off, but then Alexandrite grabs the ship and is just like, she's holding it there. So it doesn't seem like the ship is very high off the ground. So was it implied that maybe Alexandrite jumped up into the air and grabbed the ship and it just kind of fell down to the earth? Or well, they fell down to the earth. That's the only thing I can really think of, because I know Alexandrite is tall, like very high, like kaiju height. But they were on that ship long enough that it really did seem like maybe they were already, like, you know, making a break for the stratosphere. So I guess there is a little bit of confusion on my part regarding that as to what really happened there. Or were they just sort of in the air and Aquamarine was setting the coordinates? I have no idea. And just one last thing, and I mentioned this during the reaction portion, don't know whether I left it in the edited YouTube cut for the video, but something about Aquamarine, and I think it really played into some of her expressiveness, and I don't know, maybe it's even the same voice actor, but there was a show on Cartoon Network years ago called The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I said Billy and Mindy at first, but it's Billy and Mandy. And she reminds me so much of Mandy. Like, Mandy was definitely the, let's say, chaotic neutral at best. Often potential, well, maybe not often, but sometimes chaotic evil. So, I guess that plays into why I consider Aquamarine to be the chaotic evil. But, yeah, actually, you know what? While I'm recording here, I am going to look up that episode and just see if the voice actor is the same person. Because even the voices sounded very similar. Okay, so apparently the voice actor isn't who I thought it was, or thought who it might be, but she did voice young Judy Hopps in the movie Zootopia, which if you've never seen that is an awesome movie. But yeah, okay, so still though, the comparison between the characters there, I personally feel is pretty accurate, that Aquamarine here is channeling the spirit of Mandy from Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy to a degree. So yeah, what a way to finish this season off, and my first urge is to go right into the next episodes. The problem is, there is a source for these episodes that I know of. Actually, I wonder if I can watch them on Cartoon Network directly, the website. I'm going to look into that and see if it's possible. If it's not, I might have to use alternate means to be able to watch the episodes. So the quality might change a bit in the videos, but I'll do my best to, you know, keep it good. Keep things looking nice, or as nice as possible. But everyone, thank you so much for being here for this episode of Discovering Steven Universe. I'm just blown away. I know this one is longer than usual. Like, even longer than some of my two-parters, I'm sure, just because of how much I rambled and was blown away here. But dear God, these two episodes, I mean, what a way to finish off a season. If it wasn't for the fact that I have the 5th season to look forward to already, or that I can watch them, I would be really annoyed with how that left off, but Yeah, I'm still blown away. So everyone, while I try to bring my thoughts back together, thank you so much for being here for this episode of Discovering Steven Universe. Thank you for sitting here with me for this two-parter. Let me know your thoughts on both of these episodes in the comments down below. Let me know not only your thoughts on the episodes, but also what I had to say about it. We've had some, interesting dialogue in the comments lately. If you disagree with my opinion on these episodes, I'd like to know why, but overall, I'm just looking forward to seeing some good dialogue and just, again, waiting to see what you all have to say about this, because it's clear what I've had to say so far. Also, before I end, if you are interested in seeing episodes like this, with Discovering Steven Universe, Discovering Doctor Who, and other shows and videos that I'm going to be putting up on my channel in the future, if you'd like to see them ahead of time, about a day ahead of time, hopefully more, as long as I have the time. Full-time job kind of gets in the way sometimes. If you're interested in seeing those early, please go over to the patreon.com/PapaKennMedia website, and for as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to these episodes. I put them on there as soon as I get them uploaded to YouTube, and again, that can be anywhere from a day to a few weeks ahead of time, or well, about a week ahead of time. It's rare that I get 2 weeks ahead of time, but I'm rambling. Everyone, one final time, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next episode of Discovering Steven Universe, I guess on Homeworld.